Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Last Lap. Rich Farmer, Shelly Lisky, and our guest today,
Dale Blaney.
Dale Blaney. Self-introduction. The tall, cool lowrider, or whatever you want to call him today. So, Dale, we might as well skip the fun, dumb stuff and get right to it. What's your take on the position with the All-Stars?
Normally we start out with like a recap of what we did.
Well, can we recap Knoxville or recap something?
Well, I didn't think you'd want to talk about Knoxville. That didn't go so well, right?
It didn't go as well as what we hoped. I mean, the way we've been running all year, I felt like we had a great opportunity to go out there and do some good. But for whatever reason, qualifying night was tough. Rained out the first night. Our night was Thursday, and that was the first night, and track was wide open and heavy, and we just really didn't have a whole lot of speed. We qualified okay, but after that, we couldn't pass a car, so it was tough. Sometimes you go out there and have speed, and sometimes you don't, and we just didn't really get ourselves in the right position, and
Did the track stay narrow, or I didn't go out this year? Normally I go out. Did it widen up at all after?
Our qualifying night stayed narrow. It was hard to pass, but if you had Brian Brown could pass, Madsen, some of the good guys, they were able to get up through there in the heat races, and I thought the top fastest four guys actually started in the top four spots.
Yeah.
They were the best four there, and they ran in the top four spots. Brown and Madsen. Yeah.
I was hoping for Kerry Madsen.
Yeah, he ran well. I mean, Schatz and Brown are definitely, the last 3 years, they've been the best two guys there, and overall they're the best two guys there. Schatz is, watching him out there is impressive. He's just, if it's not for a blown motor, the year Schaefer wins it, he's got 9 straight, and to me that's incredible with the amount of cars you have every year out there to have an opportunity to win 9 straight. And I think he was second the 4 years prior to that. He's
pretty sure when he seen him sitting on the pole that everybody was like,
well,
I think when you seen the 4 cars that were up there in the top 2 rows, that people thought it was going to be a race. I mean, Shane runs really well at Knoxville.
He can't
Brian
finish.
Brown runs well there.
He's struggling finishing races.
Yeah, but those 4 cars, I think people thought it was going to be a little more of a race than it turned out to be. But
it was.
Brian gave him a.
Yeah, I knew Brown would be eventually a factor, and he was close there, but Schatz was way better in traffic.
Yeah.
But in the open there, Schatz missed the bottom 2 times in a row after that restart, and Brown had a run, and he had an opportunity. But Schatz just he found another gear and got it done. So it was impressive to watch. It's a cool place.
Yeah, it is, and when you get all those cars there and the atmosphere and all
I like
that
the
stuff,
atmosphere. I can't say I always like the racing.
It is pretty neat.
I like a little bit more racing. I like the little smaller, tracks.
Yeah, I'll tell you what though, the track was too good all night long on Saturday. It was really too good all weekend. The only time the track really got good was for the A main on Saturday afternoon when Lasowski won that non-qualifiers night. There was a little top, little bottom, and it was really good. But it was too fast all weekend. Too fast for me.
We prep racetrack all the time, and when we do 2-day shows, it's a job, and to see them guys do what they do for a week straight, it's pretty impressive out there. I go out and watch that kind of stuff because to me that's a little more entertaining some days, but
yeah,
it's impressive.
Yeah, the dirt they have though
it's more suited for that.
Yeah, it's really good. I mean, you can turn that stuff over and water it, and it's going to stay, and it blows no dust, and it's just it's easy to work with.
Yeah, it makes it easier.
Why don't we get that at Fremont? I like what
we got at Fremont.
Can we import that? No, I actually like what we got at Fremont. It's fine.
Yeah, I would hope so.
I don't want to
change. You take enough money, it should be all right.
Maybe I should bring some dirt in.
Yeah. I seen a thing on TV today, or not TV, the internet today. The guy that used to own Dirt Motorsports before it was sold to Boundless and all that. He's developed a synthetic dirt for a racetrack with waxes and resins, and I was reading up on it today. They're going to build a racetrack up in New York somewhere.
They had that. Man, they had a race on that, I thought, a couple years ago.
Yeah, they've tried to race on it, correct.
Yeah, I don't know how it turned out.
It's apparently good enough that they're moving forward. They've made some additional adjustments, and the company he's working with actually makes like Sweet and Low or some kind of sugar.
Huh.
And
run on sugar.
So
I like it.
They say it's dust-free, which would be a good addition someplace.
Be great for Ohio.
Yeah.
Ohio has a lot of dust.
Yeah.
Not bad. I mean, great racing, but just the surfaces are just what it creates.
Yeah, some are worse than others. It's just sturdy.
What else you want to talk about before we get into anything else?
Anything else you want to talk about? You said your daughter's moving into college.
Friday morning.
Oh, you're gonna.
That's
Yeah.
got to be a.
And the bad thing is, I'm going to be in Butler, Michigan. You know, two-day show, Friday and Saturday. So that's tough day. I'm going to have to go Sunday after Butler. I'm going to get done and head down there and spend all day with her. But yeah, she was really fired up all summer long, and
Now it's closer.
it's closer, and she's getting a little nervous. But it's I told her last night it's going to be hard for both of us for a long time. Probably the first weekend for her. Then she'll be fine. But I mean, she's with a lot of freshmen, and they're all in the same situation. So
It's hard though. I took Christopher to Lima and had a meltdown. I couldn't even talk for 2 days.
She has a meltdown when Christopher goes across town.
He does.
For any length of
He
time.
went on the road with the World Outlaws.
Yeah.
Got his degree right away and lucked out and fell into this deal, and they're out having a good time winning races.
Yeah.
It sucks. I mean, I like him being. I've not ever been that parent ready to get rid of them. I like, and as they gotten older, I like to hang out with them. So
yeah, it's going to be
I do
an
have
adjustment.
separation anxiety when they're gone. It's gonna be weird for you.
You have that with her when you leave to go to work in the morning?
No.
No? Really?
No, not for the day.
No.
No, maybe the weekends.
Weekends, yeah.
Not the day.
I like to go away. A lot of times on the weekends, I go away.
No.
I can see that.
Yeah.
Either way, I'm not going to be there, so it's not like it's,
He does his.
I'll be watering or tilling dirt
Or
or
goes to
go to Attica.
and if I don't have to go to, I'm gonna get in trouble for saying that, but I like to go to the lake get my jet ski out. I like to do that kind of stuff on Fridays.
I don't
So it's a
have that
little more
time.
suitable. So your new car owner, he's got to be happy though, right?
Tony's a great guy. He's loving racing. I mean, he loves racing, and for him to get involved, with us like this, you got to. But we've had a great year. We just been really consistent, really good. It really wasn't a hard transition, I guess. The cars are all the same. George is still there, and so the transition was pretty easy. The big transition in Florida was finding a 14K on the board instead of the 2. So
I still do it.
That truck and trailer had to be a little bit of a transition. I mean, you and George are used to running around the country in, some pretty small units by
Yeah.
comparison, and now you got this.
yeah, we can get away from each other now. He can ride in the trailer on the way to the races, and out there I was in a truck. So yeah, we can get away from each other a little bit. But it's made George better. He doesn't have to worry about getting the truck and trailer to the races. He doesn't have to worry about anything. The only thing he's worried about now is getting stuff done at the track. He sits there and rides in a trailer and is just more focused and ready when he gets to the track. So it's been great for him, and it's taken a lot of pressure off him. And,
Yeah.
We've laughed and smiled a lot this year, and you can do that when you're running well. But even when we do, we still have a great time, and that's what it's all about.
You haven't had too many of those not running well nights, so.
No, we
It's
haven't.
really been ticking her off.
We've been fortunate. There's been a couple times where I've been grumpy after the races, but yeah, we've had a great year. I can't complain. So,
I'm always
the worst.
grumpy after the races, if that makes you feel better.
Yeah, I've been at it a couple times. I
She's
used to be-
pretty honest. girl.
I am.
I used to be really bad for a
After
while.
you deal with everybody on a Saturday night, oh my gosh, you just want to slap
I
your own
was-
wrist some nights.
When I worked at Sharon Speedway, that's a tough job.
I had no idea. We talk about this all the time because he's always kind of pissy with me because I only think in racer terms. That's all I know. So the whole promoter stuff to me is new, and I never realized what the other side of the fence.
The best thing that's ever happened to her when it comes to that was we was sitting in the at Eldora Speedway up in the suites, and we was up there with what's the guy's name from Peevely, older gentleman from Peevely. We're sitting up there, and he's talking about.
I remember Kenny Schrader's wife was up
Yeah,
there.
and I says,
Kids.
tell her how much fun it is promoting races, and he turns that chair around and laid into her, and I just wanted to sit there and laugh. It was
It's hard for
It's a
me to
good time.
find a balance.
That's a tough job. I did it for a few years, and you got to have thick skin, and
And I don't a lot of times. I'm a pleaser. I like to make. I want things to run smoothly and people enjoy themselves, and you just can't do it. It's not going to happen.
no, not at all.
well,
All right, got the fun stuff over with.
Yeah, enough of that.
Down to the nitty gritty.
Who do you want to talk about first?
Well, I guess I don't know about who. when all this stuff started coming about with the All-Stars and the Renegades and the potential split or break, or at the end of the day, I think the general consensus is one has to eat the other at some point in order to survive. We kind of, from the outside looking in, understand it started at Wayne County, to an extent over the possible rain out. I don't know if you got a better insight to that.
I got a little bit of better insight. I mean, yeah, I've thought a lot, the last, since this has all happened. And Wayne County was tough. I mean, you had weather, rained a bunch, and the track was actually going to be okay. It really was. It just needed some laps, and it needed probably another 15 or 20 minutes. And, I mean, it was eventually going to be okay. But everything else, the exit of the track, the inside of the track was mainly the problem. There was 10 or 12 feet of water all the way around the inside of the track. And was it suitable to race at that point? Probably not, but Kyle comes and they're on a loudspeaker. We're all down there, and they're like, 15 minutes, we're ready to go. And it's just like, hold on, we relax here a second. And I probably, I told Kyle, I said, listen, we don't want to go out there right now. And I probably maybe shouldn't have said that to him in front of everybody. Maybe Chad Kemenall was down there, Shane was down there, Helms. Maybe 3 or 4 of us should have grabbed Guy and went over to a corner and just said, hey, listen, this needs addressed, this needs addressed, this needs addressed, and let's get that stuff fixed before, you're calling us out there in 10 minutes. Right over there is lightning, and it's going to rain probably in about 10 minutes anyway. So it just got to be chaotic, and it probably didn't need to be. And probably myself, I should have probably maybe helped that situation a little bit, looking back on it, and just got everybody a little bit more calm. But racers are going to be racers, and I mean, we all want to.
How many nights was that? Were you in the Speedway? Well into it.
That was Monday night.
Monday night.
So
we got rained out Friday. We raced Saturday and Sunday.
But you travel, and everybody's nerves are on edge, and you're going up and down the road, and you get all this.
No, yes, but no. I mean, it looked like the next night at Sharon was going to rain out the way the weather looked. So it was like, hey, everybody in the pits wants to race. It doesn't matter if it starts at 10, 11. If it's safe, if everything is okay, hey, let's go race it. If there wasn't going to be any weather in the next 15 minutes, if it looked clear the rest of the night, I'm sure they would have took an extra half an hour and got everything a little bit better for us. They just need to get that water out of the infield. I mean, if you get a car in there, you get shoved in there running, it's going to hurt some stuff. So.
And realistically, once the rain would have stopped and the drains would have had a moment to get some air to them, that would have went away. That would have cured itself.
Eventually.
Yeah.
I mean, they were going to have to cut some drains or do something, but yeah, it just got out of hand. And I think more stuff led to that, prior to that, feelings have been hurt or whatever, but it was just a tough situation.
At the end of the day, there's going to be tough situations, no matter if it's there or wherever or whoever or however, and a lot of what happens, it needs to be handled in a different manner with, I constantly hear the lack of respect, that there needs to be more respect, and maybe that's part of what the problem is and why these guys are out on the other end trying to to put something else together because they feel they deserve that respect or that.
Well, you don't always very often wear a headset. I get to hear. I know how you guys are talked to, and I tried to stress that with Guy when we had him on the phone the other day, and I just felt like he didn't want to hear me.
Well, yeah, that's. I don't know if Guy is a people person. I don't know if Kyle is a people person. You know what I mean? I mean, some people are just outgoing and friendly and always see the bright side of everything. Those two, probably not. I mean, I don't want to sit here and attack anybody on this show.
Right.
I want to make, my main goal coming on here is to get everything fixed. The Renegades and the All-Stars, it's all going to have to be one. Two can't survive. So how do we do that? Egos have got to be put aside, and people have got to learn. And like I've told a few people, you can't smack the dog and beat the dog every day before it wants to bite you.
Yeah.
And right now, it's wanting to take a big bite, and it's wanting to take his hand off. So whether this helps make Guy be a better person, the All-Stars run better, that's all we can ask for.
And I know when Guy was on our show, he did reach out to try to get people to call and try to work out some differences amongst the, across the lines. And obviously he's, people are going to say that, well, he's in a predicament that he may or may not survive, and, he's going to reach out now because he feels that he's being attacked. But maybe he just needed a wake-up call to say, hey, yeah, I was a dumbass.
And that's human nature, I think. It takes something always to open you up or to see things.
Oh, no doubt. I mean, everybody sees it. I mean, George Fisher and I, my mechanic, we've raced for 13 years now. And sometimes we'll get complacent. There about 3 years ago at Knoxville, we wanted to kill each other after the races. And my fault, his fault, is what it is. But, sometimes you just get complacent. And it's not like you don't care, but it's just what it is what it is. And after that point, hey, we got going better again. And, hey, George he's one of my best friends in life and always will be. And we can talk about anything. And sometimes, a situation needs to occur where change is made. But
well, they say a lot of this is stemming from people not getting paid for points funds, and you and I have obviously talked about that, and we know that there's been some issues. And Guy was on the show and he said that he's taking care of his obligations to you and to Janet and Tim and those types, the people that he had owed. And that's what his side of it is. He was very open about that. He's done that. He's claiming that he's going to have a date where his points fund will be paid, and to put out a full points fund of what from 1st to 10th is going to pay. I don't know if you got anything to add to that, or
that right there is a step. A lot of drivers, a lot of owners, the last couple of years, there's not a defined point fund. Outlaws or any other group, you'll see there's 1 through 10 right there. This is what you're going to get. And there has never been that with the All-Stars. So
yeah, Guy said that wasn't even in the case when he had a car that he raced with the All-Stars. He said there wasn't even one then, and he did say that he plans to put that out, from my understanding, in the short term, that he plans to put out.
But if it's not written, I guess, in a rule book or whatever, at the beginning of the year, he needs to come and give every owner and every driver a little piece of paper that says, listen, guys, this is what it is.
This should be on your membership form.
You would think so.
When you fill out your membership form, when you sign up to be a member of the All-Stars, it should be right there on the membership form that this is what you're competing for, this is your, whatever.
Yeah. Hey, I know times are tough. I still haven't got all my money from last year. He still owes a little bit, but he's taking care of a lot of it. Guy and I have had a relationship for a long time, and whatever he said he's going to do, he's done. So to me, I didn't cause a big stink about it. I knew eventually I was going to get paid. So, causing a huge fuss about it really wasn't going to, make amends. Mike Hefner out there probably raised a little bit more than what anybody does. But truthfully, if you're owed a certain amount of money, you expect it.
Absolutely.
And like, if somebody owed him money, he would expect it. So certain people are going to react a certain way. And at a certain point after Speed Week, I was a little fed up, and it's like, let's go. We need to get paid, and we've been paid quite a bit, but he still owes a little bit. And situations with everybody else, I really don't know. Hearsay is hearsay. I know he owes probably Mr. Holtgraver some money from a couple years ago. I know he still owes Hefner a little bit from the Eastern points last year. So what Janet and Tim's deal is, I don't know.
Yeah.
So truthfully, the less I know about everybody else's situation, I really don't care about it. I just care
absolutely.
about what happens with our team and what happens with us.
And that's, I was just referencing that because they said that's, it's been brought up, and it's one of the hot topics as far as the reasoning to start this other series.
Yes.
Has been the lack of people getting paid for points fund, and the lack of respect, it seems to be, is what's driven this whole wedge in there. So
well, the respect thing is huge.
Goes a long way.
When Burton Bridget had it a long time ago, mid-90s, and I raced it from 94 to 97, 4 years I spent with them. Rick Nichols and Barn were out there, and they had a great group Bert absolutely loved racing. His wife loved racing, and he would do anything in the world to help racers out, help you get up and down the road to the racetrack. And the atmosphere was just, it was really fun to be part of. And if Bert came up to your trailer during the night, he would come in, we'd have a joke, we'd have a laugh, but we'd also talk about things. And you loved when he came up in your trailer, and you loved when he was there. But right now, when these guys walk through the pits, sometimes you just turn the other way and you really don't want to talk. I mean, I don't want to talk right now if I can't have a good conversation with you. So, and most of the time, that's not the fact right now.
Do you think this is part of what led to only having the lack, the small car count out west?
No, I mean, those guys wanted to make a statement and not go out west, and a lot of them, it's a tough time to go out there. It's 2 weeks, 3 weeks before the Knoxville Nationals. You're trying to get your stuff ready. Why do we need to go 13 hours to Huset's and then another 10 hours to Williston? And there's no cars in Williston. I mean, that's a tough area. There's some 360 series in Montana. Grand Forks is 6 hours away. On a Wednesday, Thursday, it's going to be hard for those guys to get out there. But Rick Rogers, who owns Hodgeshield's car, he lives there, wanted to have a race there. It's a neat little track, and it's a neat little area. But man, it's just in the middle of nowhere. So, but I mean, if Chad's there, if Tim's there, if Holgraver's there, if Caleb's there, Paulper's there, I mean, it adds. We probably get 18 cars. There's some more that'll come. I knew there was some scuttlebutt of people calling and saying, "Don't go to that track." So it was a bad situation. We had 11, but that's
Not the worst situation.
Yeah, I mean, the Outlaws had 18.
Was it the same track last year that they had?
We had 7 at Hibbing or 8 at Hibbing. So but that was all stemmed from politics from another series, not wanting,
not wanting to support the program.
Yes, that really had nothing to do with the All Stars. That had to do with another program that didn't want them to come over. So life is life. But I mean, there was only 18 cars at the Outlaw Race in New York that same weekend. So you got to go where there's cars. Yeah. I mean, nobody talks about the 62 we had at KC and the 51 that we had at other places at Speed Week.
No, they don't. They don't talk about that. And
sure.
There was people talking about the race at Wilmot at Steve Sinclair's place, and I know Steve. He's a friend of mine, and he said that at the end of the day, their average car count for the IRA series is like 26.
Sure.
They had 38.
Sure.
So realistically, did the All Star brand bring a few guys, or did it bring the 12 guys?
Yeah.
I mean, in the promoter's view, it needs to be 12 guys because that's what you got, and so that was a little different. But at the end of the day, I guess something needs to happen, and the question is, what needs to happen? I mean, what do you, as the reigning champion, the points leader,
and we talked about it earlier. You're a really.
Can I say no comment?
You're exciting. You are a deciding
You're kind of the face of the brand at this point.
Sure.
It's
yeah.
Not saying that anything against anyone else that has been, Jack and Tim and all them guys are also the face of the brand, but as the 4-time champ, the most winningest All-Star driver in the history, I mean, you're somebody.
That, I think Webb even called you out and called you the one All-Star.
Yeah, I don't want to be the one All-Star. I want to be the one of 8 All-Stars.
Right.
That's what I want. I mean, nobody is one All-Star. I mean, truthfully, he had a lineup this year of 7 guys. Probably his best lineup that he's ever had.
The winner.
Yes, absolutely.
I mean, there was 5 guys who were extremely capable in the championship, and then Caleb and Andrew. I mean, those guys, they're good race car drivers, but they're young, but they're going to get better at different tracks.
But those guys are fun to watch.
Sure,
those guys, they gas the shit out of a race car.
And they're both getting better, and they're young, and they want to learn. But there was 5 guys this year that it was going to be tough. And
we talked about over the winter, kind of joking, like, oh, I wonder what Webb's going to pull out this year. And then he kept adding and adding. We're like, he's got a pretty good lineup.
He had a great lineup. Yeah. And it can be like that. I don't know what Jack's going to do next year. I think that car wants to go run on the Outlaw circuit. But there's some good cars that want to follow this series that are around here. And do I agree with everything the Renegades are doing? Yes and no. Shane Helms is a good guy.
Absolutely.
And
we've always said that.
The only thing he wants to get out of this, he wants to make sprint car racing better, and that's what everybody involved with sprint car racing. If you're involved with it, you want to make it better. No doubt about it, and we all love it, and we've been around it our whole lives. So I'm not sure he wanted to get to this point this quick. I mean, he wanted to start something, but I don't think he wanted to start it so soon. But it caught fire, and the only reason it caught fire was people were
Pushing.
extremely upset with what the All-Stars were doing. So it caught fire a little bit more than what he wanted. Now, the race he scheduled on the 23rd at Atomic, I mean, I don't think that was a great move. I mean, if you want to have a race where there's no other races going on and see how it goes. But don't bite the promoters, don't bite the owners.
If he did it, to an extent, if he did it to where there was no other race, anyone can put on a race.
Sure.
Because at the end of the day, the teams, especially the teams involved here, they need to race. That's how they eat. That's how they pay their bills. That's how their world works. So if we was going to have a race on Tuesday afternoon in the middle of nowhere, people are going to come because they need to race. Now, we always say when the weather's iffy, we know we're going to get race cars. It's just a matter of whether do we get people to buy the tickets. And, so anybody could put on the race. I don't agree with this race either, mainly because it competes against 3 fellow racetracks that, at the end of the day, to have the aggressive schedule that they've mentioned, they need those 3 racetracks very, very much so. There was probably a better time and a better place and a better situation that it could have happened at, or the same place as far as that goes. I don't think it really matters where at. It just
spite will lead to some bad decisions.
Yes, absolutely.
So I mean, and truthfully, they want to shove it at Webb, and they felt like if they could go down there and get 40 cars and Mercer gets 20, they win. And that's what he kind of wanted to do, I think. But
well, now you're going to have Attica's championship night. Puts Travis Philo in a bad position. He's to the age and and they got the backing and the stuff that they want to go travel a little bit.
Sure.
And that's something that we feel you got to have these guys and give them that opportunity. At Fremont, Brock Mays has done it. Craig Mintz has done it. Brandon Martin's done it. All these guys have done it, and they race and they either make it and they continue to do it because they can, or they end up coming back home, or whatever the case might be. But now he's in a position where he's 5th place in the points, or does he go race at KC? And then you get the Holtgraver. His title sponsor is the sponsor at Mercer. Puts him in a bad position. Whether what to do or how to do it. It's just it's one of those things. Let's take a break and we'll come back and spend some more time with Dale.
Need some cash? The Hillside Pawn Shop, 503 West State Street in downtown Fremont can help. The Hillside Pawn Shop buys, sells, or trades gold, silver, coins, guns, toys, jewelry, and much, much more. Turn your old treasures into cash now. The Hillside Pawn Shop is open Monday through Friday, 9 to 6, and Saturdays, 9 to 2. Call 419-307-8768. That's 419-307-8768. Hillside Pawn Shop in Fremont. Buy, sell, trade. Pawnbroker license PV.100620.000.
Taco Bell's XXL steak nachos are not a big meal for 6'10" NBA star Kevin Love. Even with 3 times the steak, they do not overwhelm Kevin Love.
Okay.
Nor do the XXL steak nachos intimidate Kevin Love.
That dude's huge.
But you are not Kevin Love. Taco Bell's XXL steak nachos. A regular sized meal for Kevin Love. A XXL sized meal for you.
Well, welcome back, everybody. That
was a quick break.
That is a quick break. Yeah.
She barely had time to get a drink of water.
Seconds.
Yeah, it don't take long. They're on the internet, you only get so much time.
This is live, actually?
This is live.
Usually we have some clips of the night before, but
No clips.
You're such a big presence in our last night studio tonight. We've kind of, I don't even know.
We did have a nice weekend of racing, though. We raced 3 divisions, had 3 B mains, had a dash, and we were done racing at 10 o'clock, which was really cool. Cole Duncan come up, and then them guys, they put on a good race, him and Byron, for the lead.
I like to see Cole do well at Fremont, because there for a while he kind of struggled, and he's
Well, it just kind of shows how he's maturing as a driver, really. It kind of, that deal. Sean Valenti stunk the truck race up again, started up front.
He's running good this year, isn't he?
That kid is, he's a good race car driver.
Yeah,
I mean, he's a good all-around race car driver. I I would have really liked to seen him have the financing and stuff to
run
continue
the
on
410?
with that 410.
Yeah, I would have too. I like Sean. He runs well.
Super nice guy too.
Yeah.
He is?
And just, real polite.
Really?
Yeah,
Sean is?
He's kind of quiet, but yeah, he's
A little quiet.
Yeah.
And then the 305 race, Nate Dussel, he won at Attica the week before. He won at Fremont this week, and
oh, I don't
And
know how
Tyler-
Tyler Gunn comes.
Did he have my uniform on?
Who? Nate?
I don't know.
Nate. I gave him one of my TI uniforms.
I don't know if he had it on or
I don't
not.
know if he did
Honestly,
either.
I don't know.
I was pretty excited for that race. I want to see the Gun Kid win a race so bad, and
He got close to
He
him
did.
there, but Nate was good. Nate run a good race, and Tyler run a good race, and there was a lot of excitement. It was just a good night.
I
Everything.
want to run one of 305 one night.
Do
I
you?
want to run a truck and a 305. I want to run all division. One night I want to run every division.
I will let you run one of my 305 cars anytime you want.
I can fit in.
I got a tall cage guy.
Really? I got to do that one night before I retire. I got to get that done in the next year. I'm about done.
gosh, don't be saying that. The
Yeah,
phones will be buzzing away.
you'll have Twitter lit up. Blaney's answer to the split is to quit.
Yep, that's it. He's drawn his line.
Maybe.
Yeah, puts his own line in
Yeah.
there. So, but yeah, it was a good night. We're off for 3 weeks.
Yeehaw.
3 weeks.
Yeah,
Fair.
fair. I don't know if we're actually off for 3 weeks because we run kitchens and
Yeah.
build demolition derby arenas and tractor pull tracks and a rodeo arena this year, which would be something new for us. We're not usually doing those rodeos.
I'm going ziplining.
But
I have to squeeze everything in August, so.
at the end of the day, I kind of hate to put you on the spot, I guess, but how do you, as far as the All-Stars are concerned, what do you think it's going to take to make this thing succeed? The All-Star Circuit of Champions brand has a 30-plus year history. It has, our racetrack is known as the home of the All-Stars. There's been so many champions and so many winners and such a list of talent that it would take 30 years to rebuild starting from scratch. I mean, what, as an avid sprint car fan, more than just a driver, what do you think it's going to take to make this go, for the next 30 years to keep the All-Stars brand alive?
Well, new management, new people working. Day to day at the track. That's a start. Truthfully, does Guy need to step away, hire somebody else to run it? Him, stepping back for a little bit and just watch. Maybe he just needs to watch for a year and hire somebody else to do it and see if they can take it back up
I said
to the level where it was.
Maybe he should a board or somebody to,
Well-
or just something where he can consult or learn.
Sure.
And not be the forefront.
Well-
The guy.
Well, truthfully,
I don't think it's going to happen.
when did he take over? 02?
Right around there.
It's 14 right now, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah.
So if he's learned, he's had 12 years to learn.
And he said that he's mentioned to me that the first couple of years, there was some other people in there and things didn't work out so well with those people and that type of thing. And that's kind of how he got pushed into the forefront. He didn't necessarily want to be in the forefront, but the other people were failing the brand or failing his vision for the brand. And he kind of got shoved into the forefront and don't sound to me like he really wanted to be there. But now he's kind of there.
And he wants to be.
I mean,
he may want to be there.
truthfully, he's elevated a little bit. We're paying $50,000 point fund for the winner. That's awesome. To run as many races we do and get paid a point fund of what we have, that
That's over $1,000 a night.
you can't beat it. And so he's taken it to a level. But does he need to, like I said, does he need to step away for a year and just hire somebody else to run it? Hire 2 great workers to run it at the racetrack, and have 3 of you there at the racetrack.
Maybe.
Truthfully, that might be the solution.
He seems to, from the outside looking in anyhow, he seems to do okay with managing racetracks as far as getting shows. He seems to do okay continuing on the points fund and continuing on the sponsor packages that would require him to, be required for him to be able to pay those types of points funds with like UNOH MSD and those kind of people that support the All-Stars. So, I mean, he seems to have, maybe he would be better fitted to manage that end of things
Sure.
as far as the,
More
you know,
behind the scenes.
the raw stuff, and then, like you say, have people that are taking care of the day-to-day management at the track. I mean, I've called Guy after All-Star shows at our place, and I told him, and he wasn't there, and I says, you know, you're not gonna, the first time he wasn't there, Butch was there at the time, and Butch was, in my opinion, he was a pretty good guy. He was real, you know, everybody was the same. There wasn't no favorites. There was, the rule book was the rule book, and it was cut and dry, and Guy wasn't there, and I called him. I said, I want to be honest with you. I said, this was the best All-Star event we've ever had to date, and there was we had no controversies, we had no issues, there was no nothing. Everybody come, we raced, and we left.
No, I'll probably get in trouble for saying this, but because a lot of times when you guys roll into town, it turns into a circus. And I, not disrespectful to you guys or anything, but everybody gets on edge and they're yelling and they're screaming at each other, you know, or at you drivers, and our tower's all in an uproar, and everybody's all on edge, and it's just.
Truthfully, yeah, it's like that because they don't have anybody day to day that actually knows racing. I mean, just knows racing. You can't. There's situations that come up in a race during the night that you got to have an idea that's going to happen before it happens.
Yeah.
And they have nobody that can understand that. So they make a call from, Kyle makes a call from the stands that guy jumped. Well, it's hard to make that call from up there. You need to make that call from the cone or from the line down there because you don't know if the guy's motor stumbled. You really don't have a good feel. So trust me, if a guy jumps, the guy at the line, an official, needs to make that call and radio up to him.
I have seen in the past where a person looks like they jumped, but the reality of it is the guy on the outside didn't go.
Sure.
And kind of even makes it look twice as bad.
Sure. Oh, as a race car driver, you can make it look like that guy jumps all day. If you don't want to start next to him, oh, I'll screw him. I want to start next to that guy.
Yeah.
You can do it.
Yeah, because
I've never done it.
But it can be done relatively easy.
Sure. Yeah, it can. But to get back to the point, would it be a better thing if Guy stepped aside for a little bit? I don't know if he needs to actually step aside and get rid of the series. I mean, if he wants to do that, great. But, I mean, he needs to let somebody else run it, and he needs to hire a couple guys that can run it, that have the respect of every driver, and every driver and the racetracks enjoy us coming into town. Bottom line. Bottom line.
And that would, depending on who that is or how that would work, I mean, do you think that would potentially end the split? Guy has been very open to the fact that, he's willing to discuss things and, that he has not made any of these guys the enemy. He feels that they're, he understands. He understands to a degree what's going on, and he understands to a degree as to why it's going on. I think maybe your comments will help, getting there. I don't know if you've talked to him on a personal level about this.
I'll give you an insight, and this is from our perspective, and it's from a racetrack perspective. We go to Wilmot, Wisconsin, and we're the first cars in the pits. We got there early, and we're in there at about 12:30, 1 o'clock. There's other cars coming in. We get there, and it's time at 3 o'clock for us to go out, and they're clearing the pits, and we're going to sign in. There's not a sign of the All-Star official. There's not a sign of the All-Star T-shirt trailer. There's not a sign of nobody. We go to the sign-in. They don't have a sheet. There's nothing there. They get there about half hour, 45 minutes later. After we've all signed in, and where do we sign in? Well, we just all signed in, and he took care of it. But if you're an organization,
What a nightmare.
yeah, and that's not the first time that's happened. Trust me. If you're an organization and blame it on, well, Chicago was tough to get through. Seriously? It was a Saturday night race.
They wouldn't give you much
can't
of a
you can't
break
get there
if you
through there
didn't make
Friday
it.
night?
They wouldn't give you a break if you didn't make it in time for Pildraw.
No, I don't think so. But I mean, that's just the type of stuff that kind of goes on. I mean, when you go to the sign-in as a driver and you look and you pay for an All-Star membership, you expect your name to be on there. Well, maybe it's not on there this week. Why am I not on there? So you expect your name to be on there every week. And there's been some weeks where
Because you would
That
think
name's
that
not on.
wouldn't change from the time you buy.
Yeah,
would
if
think
you
at
bought
the
an
beginning of the
all-star
season,
membership,
you're not buying it halfway through.
providing you didn't do anything according
name
to
should be
the,
on there all
according
year.
to the rules,
Yeah.
you know, detrimental to the sport or whatever,
Sure.
or
But-
detrimental to the series.
But if you go to a place that, you know, guy recruits a couple cars to come to and he says, I'll give you some pit passes. Well, I don't think this guy's going to be here this week. We'll just put him off the list. And then all of a sudden he shows up and he's not on the list.
I know that, you know, we've had an all-star membership for quite some time when we had the 410 team because it's beneficial, you know, it's
For the teams.
it's beneficial
Not
for
the
the
tracks.
teams, for the racetracks, and I've had all-star memberships since I've had my racetrack and gone, and we've done the Speed Week deal and whatever else, and we've signed in to get in. It's part of the thing, but you know, at the end of the day, the racetracks, they negotiate or however they deal with their, you know, some places deal with it, other places deal with it probably differently. You know, there's you know, but I agree with you. If you bought the membership, you should be on the list, irregardless.
No
But I don't
bartering
feel,
with it.
as a racetrack operator, I don't feel that if Dale Blaney signed in as Tim Schaefer, I don't feel that that's right.
No.
Or I don't feel it's right if the car don't show up.
Sure.
And someone, like there was an incident in Attica a few years ago where an all-star member didn't race, but they come there to be a spectator.
Sure.
And they signed in for free as a member. I mean, if you're there to race, then that's fine. But if you're there as a spectator, then I don't feel that the membership should be honored, because when you sign the membership, it's with the intent you're going to race with.
Sure.
So there is some.
That's a two-way street. That's a
yeah,
tough one.
absolutely.
But getting back to it, you know, like at Wilmot, that's just the type of stuff that happens, and that stuff should never happen.
No, it should not.
So that tells you what we got going on right now.
And do you think, you know, with the Renegade thing, obviously there's not a lot of, you know, they're kind of startup, and there's not a lot of, you know, details as to far as, you know, what tracks can expect, what teams can expect. You know, I've heard that there's going to be like a 10-panel board of directors, you know, and honestly, do you feel that you and 9 other guys could sit down in a room and make this race car drivers and make rules that are going to be beneficial to everyone in the group? Or do you feel that they're going to have, obviously, you know, to an extent, look out for themselves mentality?
Rules aren't my job. My rules, if I'm a race car driver, my rule is to go to the track and race. Now, do I want to voice my opinion on a couple things? Yeah, maybe, but it's not my decision, or you know, I don't want to ever take my decision. I mean, the only time really they should discuss anything with the drivers is Wayne County, raining,
Safety issue.
Sure. Take 3 drivers aside and say, hey, what do we have to do here to make this where we can make it better and make it for your race? We'd do that all day long. But you want to take
We've had that exact incident at Fremont.
Sure.
And called a drivers meeting because I questioned whether the place was going to be safe or not, and I
Yeah.
questioned how long we were going to be there.
Yeah.
And I'll never forget it because they wanted to race. Everybody wanted to race. And I'm thinking to myself, we're going to tear some shit up tonight.
I think I left that night, didn't I?
I believe you did.
Yeah.
And I'm walking through the pits.
Yeah.
I'm walking through the pits.
'Cause I didn't feel like it was
Going
really-
back to my tractor, and Sam Reed was giving me the riot act about letting the inmates control the asylum.
Sure.
And the racetrack turned out to be very nice.
Yeah.
And Byron won.
And Byron won.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think I sat at the Days Inn and didn't do anything, and they said, yeah, it was a pretty good track.
And Sam didn't come to Victory Lane, which is very unlike Sam Reed.
Yeah.
And he did call me and apologize. So there's times where, you know, you let them have their choice, and you gotta, you know, we do that with some rule stuff. We give them an opinion, and
Yeah.
and at the end of the day,
They're not the enemy. I mean, we all have
No.
to survive with each other.
I mean, it's great to get an opinion. Trust me. I mean, they need our opinion at times. But should we be on a board? Should the owners be on a board? That ain't gonna work. You can sit there and, I mean, if 5 drivers have an idea about a format, if we're discussing, okay, let's discuss a format. Invert 6, invert 4. What are we gonna do here? You have 5 drivers that have each a different idea, and they decide to take one, this guy's format. Well, what do you think the other 4 guys are gonna be? And it depends on the other 4 guys. They'll probably be mad. Everybody's got an ego.
well, everybody's got to an extent an ego, and what happens where there's a, say you're all part of the board, and what happens, an incident like Dean and Greg Wilson at Fremont a few years ago, going for the lead, and Greg slides him, and he wins, and no harm, no foul to an extent. I mean, Dean didn't get in the fence, and he didn't get hurt or anything like that. It was just, last corner, last lap, and his job is to win the race.
Yeah.
How do those people at the end of that night go back to their series and function
Down as board members
and make good decisions? To me, I think it would be challenging.
Yeah, that's a tough call. I mean, sure they need our opinion, but I'm not there to make the rules. I don't want to make that decision. That's not mine. I've been in that boat at the racetrack, working at a racetrack and having to make decisions. And truthfully, if they had one person that understood racing, and he wouldn't have a problem making a decision because he knows racing.
Right.
He knows what guys want. So if you have a guy that understands racing, and
that's like,
why would you want anybody else's?
When I've talked to Guy, Butch, again, like him or not, he understood things.
Sure.
And
I thought
Barney
Butch
was like that back
Barney was. I thought Butch was doing a great job, and he kind of got put into a spot where he was a competition director when he wasn't there, but he was doing a great job, and he was getting better the more he was around. And
yeah, you didn't hear these things then.
No.
These things didn't exist then.
No, a lot of people had respect for Butch. I mean, he, we could go, and I mean, he's worked on cars. He understands racing. He's been around it his whole life. And has Kyle been around it his whole life? Probably not.
I know Kyle started out, he worked at Attica. I think he worked one summer for us, and when he worked for us,
He's
the
22
kid
years
never
old.
spoke.
Yeah.
He didn't even
He's a young
speak.
kid.
Yeah.
He just come in and
Yeah, he's a young kid.
did
I mean,
his thing.
eventually he'll be good at it if he wants to get good at it.
Yeah.
But you gotta take some criticism with it. But we're giving him some criticism, aren't we?
well, I don't know if we're giving him criticism, or one could look at it as criticism.
Constructive
It could be-
criticism.
yeah, I was gonna say.
Sure. I mean, I've talked to him a couple times. I think I talked to him this year about listening on the receiver to the Outlaw guys down at Volusia County. I said, hey, just listen to Donnie on the receiver. And he kind of gave me an attitude like, why? What's he saying? Just listen to him. All you got to do is
You'll
just
figure
listen.
it out.
Yeah. I mean,
It's obvious.
I'm telling you, listen to that guy and you can learn.
I feel bad for him on
He really
an
thought-
All-Star night because I have to blow up his phone because I'm so infuriated by
Yeah.
that tower talk. Oh,
Sure.
It's horrible.
Yeah, he
and
didn't
I
want-
can't imagine hearing it, doing what you guys are doing.
Yeah, he did. I mean, he didn't really want to listen and say, okay, I'll listen for a little bit. So that's the mentality you have right now.
Well, hopefully the mentality can get better, and and talking with Guy a little bit, it seems like he's seen the light a little bit, and he may be willing to do some things and maybe not some things, and it's at the end of the
Seeing light
day.
and making an improvement, or he's going to have to step up and show people that he has, he's doing this stuff in good faith, because I think he said he's seen the light before. And I'm not bashing Guy because I've had conversations with Guy, and he's very smart.
Yeah.
You talk to him, he's a very smart guy. He has to prove, not just say this is what I'm going to do, but prove it.
Yeah. Getting along with Guy. I mean, we've had some conversation about life and just life in general. It's fun. I enjoy talking to him, but sometimes during the races, I don't enjoy it. But like we said earlier, sometimes I think you just need to step away. Maybe he does.
Well, and there's always going to be, in his position or that position or any type of promotion type position, there's always the mentality that certain people will have that everybody's making money and they're sitting back and they're providing you that income somehow.
Sure.
Whether that be a driver or track owner or whatever, but there's always this mentality. And then there's the mentality, people get upset and they can't control their emotions as well, and I've done it on my end of things, and I've seen it done against me on other ends of things, and it takes a lot to just say, hey, we got to do this tomorrow.
Sure. He's got a great opportunity right now. He's got UNAOH over there, who is a absolutely phenomenal company. Great, they're great for the sport of racing. I mean, he has resources to get this done. He's just got to be honest with everybody, open with everybody, and sometimes keep your mouth shut. Bottom line.
Yeah, and I think he, at the end of the day, you know, from a track owner standpoint, we hope that can happen.
Sure.
You know, we won
As a race car driver, I hope it can happen.
Yeah.
I don't want to have to go over there and over here and be the bad guy. I just want to go race.
Yeah.
I just want to go to the racetrack, race, have a great time, talk to people, make some money. It'd be great. I got a daughter going to college. I need to make some money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Welcome
Need
to
to sell
that
some
world.
T-shirts. Oh, we got new T-shirts, by the way, black T-shirts and hoodies, ladies tank tops.
That's cool, because I
So
hate
maybe
I
wearing
got
when-
that red T-shirt. I put it on. I feel like a Kool-Aid man because I've gotten fat. I feel like saying, "Yeah."
Every time he puts it on, he says, "Oh
You need to
yeah."
do some ab workouts, don't you?
It's something.
Stay away from the hose.
Should have put a bike in here for the show. I'd had an hour of doing
There you go.
something.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, Mercer, Dale Blaney's going to be at Mercer, I'm assuming.
Oh
You're-
yeah, I'll
you're
be a
gonna
butler. Yeah, I
You're
won't.
going to continue following your schedule. and-
Sure, I won't miss an All-Star race the rest of the year. I mean, that's what we've committed to do, and that's what we're going to do.
I've been on edge for 2 weeks now. I nag him all the time because we have our Gym Ford Classic coming up.
Mm-hmm.
It's a big deal for us.
Sure.
I mean, you've done race tracks. You know how important those big shows are to you, and you hear all this talk that
Oh.
you know they're not coming. This one's not coming. That one's not coming.
Those guys are in a tough spot now, and I think maybe Shane's put a couple guys in a tough spot. I mean, yeah, we got Attica coming up, a couple days, Buckeye, Jim Ford. So are those guys going to be?
There's a Wayne County
Sitting.
race.
Wayne County race.
They sit and not
Sure, do
race
they-
to make their.
They're all going to race. Trust me.
I'm trying in my mind to conceive the fact of any racer sitting out for a $10,000 win race.
No, nobody's going to. Chad Kemmel's going to be there. Greg Wilson's going to be there. They'll all be there. I mean, they got to be.
You
They're
know,
only
they've
15 minutes off the
sat
road.
in my office at my facility at work
Said they would boycott every
and
All-Star
told me
race.
that they're considering boycotting every All-Star race. And,
But to me, that's
True, what's that
is-
going to prove?
Right? Is that hurting the sport?
well,
or is
that
hurting
would prove that they don't really care about the sport, in my opinion. And
they more care about their cause.
they care, they care about their cause. And if they feel that their cause is going to further benefit the sport, I think in their words they says there's gonna, there may have to be some hurt before there's some help. And that may be true to an extent, but
That is definitely true. I mean, to prove a point, you got to prove a point.
Yeah.
You do.
So that's their call. I know where I'm going to be. I'm going to be racing. But should they do it? That's totally up to them. I mean, what it proves in the long run, I guess we'll find out in November. If it proves anything. I can't answer that.
Other than taking the chance to piss off more racetracks, you know,
Yeah,
when you
I mean,
boycott a 2-day show at Attica, one that you're already scheduled against them,
sure.
and then
But
you boycott a 2-day show at Fremont.
But their idea there is, okay, if everybody doesn't go, that shows the tracks and shows the promoters that we're not going to go, so you need to have the Renegades.
Now at the same
You know what I mean?
Is that
at the same
bullying?
token, do you feel that Guy Webb is going to sit back and say, not use his resources, not use his tow money packages that others may have gotten? I mean, don't you feel he's going to pick up the phone and he's going to find talent and they're going to come and they're going to race
Oh, he's
and we're still going to have a show?
sure. Oh, we'll still have a show. He'll find cars to come, but at the end of the day, at Attica and Fremont, you need Greg Wilson there. You need Chad Kemmel. You need those guys there.
You want to have those guys there
You want
because
to
they
have
have
them
they have a strong local family and friend base
Sure.
that's going to come out and support them. So you do want to have them there.
Sure, you want to have them there. I want to have them there. I mean, I'm a friend with all those guys, so would I like to see them go through this? No, it's a tough situation, but yeah, they need to come race. I'm not going to beg them though.
I don't think anybody.
You like that check with your name on it, right?
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, who wins?
Oh, the hot
Tough one.
seat.
Yeah, I'm on the hot seat.
You're just. I
Said
don't
that
envy you at
you
all.
actually want me to
because
answer that.
Actually, I do want you to answer that.
At the end of the day, who wins? You tell me.
You want me to tell you who wins?
Sure.
I believe the All-Star Circuit of Champions win.
Yeah, that works.
I believe they win. I believe they win on a numerous bases. I believe they win on history. I believe that Guy is going to see the issues that he's faced with. I think that he cares enough about racing and he cares enough about the All-Stars that he will do the things necessary to make it better. I think that the tracks know when they book an All-Star Circuit of Champion event that they're going to have a good event. They're going to have a good participation from fans buying tickets. There may be some little underlying issues, as we call them at Fremont, smoke and mirrors.
Yeah.
You know, there's things that happen every Saturday night, but the fans never know it.
Yeah.
You know, the
Drives
drivers
me
may not
crazy,
know it.
but-
You know, you may run out of register tape and just someone there, that's the end of the world.
Yeah.
But within 10 minutes, it's good. So, you know, I think that the All-Star brand prevails, and but I hope that it prevails to be better, not to be the same.
It's only going to prevail if it does get better. I mean, he's got to make some improvements. You know, I've related it to 1989, the USA Series and the Outlaws. You know, Carl Kinzer and those guys came up with a series. Steve's running it, Sammy's running it, Wolfgang's running it, my brother's running it. Over here with the Outlaws, you got Bobby Davis, you got Hodden Shield, you got Jeff Swindell, and you got Keith Kaufman. Who won?
The name brand.
The name brand, the Outlaws. It won.
Because
So-
you would have thought the
And to
opposite.
blame
As
it-
you're naming
and-
those off, I would have thought the
And the
opposite.
the NST wasn't going to win.
Yeah, that was a
Now
tough situation.
they'll say that the outcome of Fred is why it failed, but
Yeah.
I can tell you from the financial reports that I got when I purchased Fremont that they wouldn't have been back the next year because it was $30,000 in losses in 2 races.
Yeah.
John Boers wouldn't have taken it back because he lost in the teens on his event. So when they wouldn't have survived either.
Yeah.
And the brand name carries some weight.
My brother told me that when he said, those promoters just didn't feel like the USA Series was going to survive, and they felt like the World of Outlaws brand was going to. So, to answer your question, I'll agree with you. I really do. I feel that same way. But change is needed.
Well, and hopefully, you coming on here and speaking out, and I think that Brian Grove has talked with Guy a little bit, and hopefully him and Tim and those guys can share what their problem is, and maybe a lot of this could have been prevented had a conversation taken place not in the heat of the moment, not in a bad situation, and where a guy could have said, hey Guy, here's where we're at, and ask for a meeting, instead of just everybody going around and plotting ways against one another. Ask for a legitimate meeting. I mean, this deal has happened before with Jack Hewitt and the Kemenows. They've mounted a charge against Guy once before. I've discussed doing it to an extent, never really went too far with it. But there's been things.
Maybe you could run it for Webb.
I would be willing to do that. I've offered to do that. I don't know where he hasn't indicated that would be the greatest thing as of yet. But,
Maybe I should retire and run it.
There you go.
I don't think
George could be the competition
I don't
director.
think the sport's ready for you to retire yet.
Really?
No, I don't think
I
so.
hope not. I got a couple good years.
Couple.
You'd probably make more money doing
You
what
think?
you're doing too. Yeah.
Really? Everybody'd be mad at me if I was out there making calls.
Yeah, they would.
Yeah.
But that's
That'd be
okay to
tough.
an extent too.
But someone like you.
You wouldn't be able to walk around and strut and be cool.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I'm
They
not
wouldn't
too
be into
cool.
that. They wouldn't think much. It wouldn't work too well.
Probably not.
They would say you would have done that. You'd have jumped that start if you got the chance. Don't tell me you wouldn't.
I've never jumped any starts.
They would have something for you though.
Probably.
So it's
I cheat a little bit, so.
everybody should.
Well, at the end of the day, nobody likes change, and it's hard. But hopefully he sees it.
He's going to see it.
There's
I mean,
been some
I think he's seen it. I really do.
Well, he's at the end of the day, like we started off saying, you saying it is important. It's and unfortunately some of these other guys, they may not feel as important, but they are. They are equally as important.
Yeah.
And it's just like the Helms kid and Philo and Paul Kerr, those guys are on the beginning of what you're on the end of.
Yeah. Every driver and owner, from A to B, from 1 to 10, needs to get the same respect.
Absolutely.
And that's all everybody wants in this whole organization. That's it. I mean, everybody needs to get the same respect. Needs to have, be talked to exact same way. And
So do you think outside of like the World of Outlaws, I'm hearing you say that. Do you think that Alan Boyd gets the same treatment as Steve Kinzer on the World of Outlaw end of it?
probably not.
So it's not just. I mean,
I mean, you can treat everybody with respect. You can't treat everybody as equal. It's hard to at times, but you can treat everybody with respect because I mean there's a ladder. I mean there's a chain of what's the food chain? Who's at the top?
Right.
There's one at the top and there's one at the middle and there's one at the bottom. But you can treat them all with respect. You can feed every one of them.
Yeah,
That's a good analogy, isn't it?
I suppose.
I've said that a million times since this whole run. I think the respect thing is the
Sure.
biggest issue with it.
No doubt, 100%.
I don't like to be disrespected. You don't like it?
No.
Well, at the end of the day, like you say, November, maybe I'm kind of
I'm hoping it
tell
gets.
the tide. I'm kind of hoping.
I'm hoping it
myself-
gets figured out September 24th.
What is that?
It's the day after KC.
Was that
Or
the
time.
last race?
No,
Oh, you mean the day after?
Sure.
August
Oh.
24th. The day after
yes.
the first
yes, August 24th.
the first event.
Yes.
You
I'm
know,
hoping it gets figured out the next day.
And you got the guy down at KC. He's a first year promoter, and he's taking this. He's putting a lot at risk by putting his name out there, and he's got 3 promoters that are
Probably not
clearly
real
not happy
with it.
with
The way-
him right now.
The way he probably looked at it is, these guys are going to bring a lot of cars and they're going to bring a lot of fans for the first inaugural event. So he figured he could probably make a little bit of money.
And he may, in hindsight, he probably is
He may.
correct,
Sure.
and he may. But at the end of the day, he's. I don't know that the politics of this sport can be pretty brutal at times, and
Yeah.
the-
You promoters and owners and all that stuff with speedways have all got to stick together.
yeah, absolutely.
No doubt about it.
Yeah, because that's the only way that we have any kind of strength.
Yep.
You got to have the strength, like with the tire program. We all stuck together and went against the Outlaws and the All Stars and created the tire program that we have today instead of going with the other brand as they wanted to, and right, wrong, or indifferent. For us, it was more of the Hoosier had been there for a long time. They've supported us. They've put a quality product out there. We've tested the American Race Tire product. It wasn't sufficient. It wasn't quality at the moment. Now they could have made it better, but it didn't. That's over and done now. So we'll see what happens. Thanks for joining us.
We're done already?
We can be,
I
unless
do
you got
have
something more fun.
Andrew
How much more
Barman's
time we got?
watching, and he wants me to tell you
There's no questions?
hello, and that he wanted to remind you that he did beat you at 3-on-3 at the basketball.
He did.
Who are you talking about?
Andrew Barman.
He's been
Andrew Barman.
Yeah,
blowing up my phone over here.
Really?
Yeah.
They watch us live.
Yeah.
I do?
Yeah.
Hi, buddy. he actually, I don't think his
They
team
ended
actually
up-
beat us.
They won.
Oh, no, they won.
Yeah, they might have won it, but his team didn't beat us.
No, they didn't play you. I don't.
No, I mean, I'm sure they would have.
You guys were a little rusty. Lindsay was pretty bummed by that.
Here, I thought I had
We had a
recruited.
great, yeah, we didn't have a very good recruiter.
I thought I had recruited a
recruited me.
superstar.
You kidding
And
me?
I'm thinking, man, we got this.
I'm
shit.
50.
Just give him the ball.
Yeah.
That was his goal too when he did. He's like, just put him under there and just feed it to
Yeah.
him all day
It
long.
doesn't work like that. I'm not very good
I've seen
anymore.
this,
You did see it. A lot of other people saw it too.
but it was for a good cause,
Yeah, it was awesome. It was a good day.
and
Lindsay
everybody
just
had a lot of fun.
got offered a full-time basketball coaching position for a JV team, which
Nice.
you got to start somewhere, and she's out dragging her tail on
That's
it.
cool. Basketball's fun.
Yeah,
We don't have any questions or anybody? Nobody's calling in?
No, they don't call in. They could
Really?
call in.
We've
They
never
could.
offered that.
You should offer that at the beginning of the show.
Yeah.
A little call in.
We have a very nice phone number. It's 419-332-DIRT.
Wow.
So if they would want to call in, the phone will light up, and we can press a little button and answer it.
It will be Barman. It's going to be
Yeah.
Barman.
He's calling in right now, isn't
I
he?
don't see it. I don't see it lighting up. So
Oh, really?
if it lights up, you just press a little button here.
Come on, Marmon, give me a call.
It'd be interesting. It's on a 40-second delay from when
Please.
you say give me a call.
Oh, really? I'm on a 40-second delay? All right.
The amount of time it takes to get out through the world and come back is like 40 seconds.
Kind of like the Nationals the other night. I couldn't watch it on TV. It drove me crazy because you guys were already done and it was
Yeah.
still on TV, and he bitched at me the whole time.
Oh, she's like, oh, wait till you see this. Oh, and like 2 laps later, Brown passes shots.
Yeah.
Twitter was much quicker than the actual.
Yeah. Did you see Little Hod's flip?
Oh my
Oh.
gosh, was that?
I was coming off 4 and I saw it and it was ugly.
Oh
And
my
I didn't know who it was because I couldn't tell when I rolled by it. Nobody got into him, luckily, but yeah, they said it was bad. Well, I saw it was bad, but
Yeah, it was bad. He flipped
Long way.
something special there.
yeah. He was walking around after the races. He was just.
Oh, he climbed out and walked.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I was kind of surprised by that actually when he climbed out of the car. You know, the safety people, they were just kind of like let him walk away.
Sure.
Like it was, they didn't. I don't even think they asked him if he was okay.
Yeah.
You know, he just jumped out and.
Yeah.
You know, I guess he's got a good teacher.
Yeah.
You know, at a lot of things.
Jack's taken some few rides. I've seen him just jump out.
When Rob raced for me, he was telling me a story about Sheldon. He said they was at Sharon, and Sheldon's just out there just smashing the gas, and he says, I told him that, you know, maybe if you try to let out the pedal a little bit, you know, you'll get going a little better. He says, my dad told me that just all you gotta do is you just stand on the gas, and he says, you can learn to drive when you're standing on the gas. You're gonna get places.
Drive right
He
out
says,
of
so
it.
we just stand on the gas. And
I got a little bit different philosophy.
yeah, it was probably the slow and simple one, huh?
You
I
coming?
actually have 2 texts that have.
Should you
caught-
answer it like the Bob and Tom show?
Oh, you cut him off?
They didn't answer. They only let it
I
ring
did
once.
get 2 text questions for him though. One,
Ooh, we got.
asked Dale Blaney what his favorite tree is.
Soft maple. Yeah, soft maple.
And the other one is
I'm assuming there's a story behind this
I'm
tree. I don't
thinking
think we
there
should
is.
let it go that easy.
Yeah, Lincoln Speedway.
boxers or briefs.
Oh, boxers.
Boxers. Okay, there you go, Lindsay.
Who answered? Oh, Lindsay.
She'll be.
I'm gonna be red faced now.
Well, you're welcome to share anything you want to share.
Really, my favorite movie is The Shawshank Redemption.
Oh, love it.
It's a good movie.
Yeah.
I love it.
Y'all go
Yeah.
tour the reformatory
My
sometime.
brother went through that after Speed Week, or between races. He went through it. I've never been there, but Lee and I
Pretty
gotta
cool.
go do that. Yeah.
Went there.
Heard that.
They had a motorcycle ride there, and we went there. It was pretty neat.
Yeah.
It was raining.
Favorite artist is I got a few favorite artists. Tupac's pretty good. Love listening to Biggie a little bit. Public Enemy is probably number one.
You got a
Yeah.
thing with dead people. That's what
No,
you're saying.
Public Enemy's okay.
Isn't one of those guys are dead too? I
Yeah,
believe?
probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. But also a little Stevie Ray Vaughan, little Leonard Skinner. I can go that way.
Stevie Ray's dead
Stevie Ray.
too.
Yeah, he is dead, isn't he?
Dale. And he did.
I'm not much of a new artist guy.
No, me
So there's one of two things that's going on. You either have this thing with old dead rock stars and rappers, or you're getting old.
Yeah. Well, there was no.
They let it ring once and hang up.
It's got to be Barman.
It's gotta be.
After the whole tree thing, it's got to be Barman.
And no, there was no country hour on the radio in the locker room at West Virginia University. Yeah, we always had to.
There wasn't even like
we had Run
dueling
DMC,
banjos
yeah,
or nothing.
Nah, NWA, we had all that stuff.
We
So
just went down there whitewater rafting.
He's dead too, by the way. The NWA guy's dead.
Were we in West Virginia?
Easy E is it?
Yeah, he's dead.
Yeah.
Another dead guy.
Cute's still rolling okay though.
Yeah.
I like Cute. He's a good actor too.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's the comedy hour.
Make it ring twice.
See?
one time. Barman.
But they don't understand it's not ringing in here, so the joke's on them really, because it's ringing out there. They can't even hear it ring, so they're kind of disappointed in that.
Favorite team is the Kansas City Chiefs.
Really?
Gonna have a big year this year again. We had a good year last year, big strides, but huge Chief fan.
Question is they're going to be able to keep their name? You know, with all this
Oh, the
Indian
Redskins.
chiefing and
True.
Redskins, and
Yeah,
the Indians have been sued for millions, and
yeah.
kind of makes you wonder if there was a bunch of Indians playing baseball, if they would have sued them. You know, if they had the feathers and shit and was running around. I wonder if they would have got sued.
We're gonna be done after that coming.
Yeah, well, they won't kick us off.
Last lap live.
Jokesters.
It's a 419 number. You know that.
All right.
Are you gonna call back?
I think we can do that.
Yes. Put him on the spot.
are unable to complete your call as dialed.
Oh,
Please dial the number 1.
I'm gonna go one.
No, it's not somebody local. It's confusing them.
Yeah, it is. I
See
don't
that?
use these things.
Phone numbers are tough nowadays.
Gonna write it down.
Jeez.
Well, Andrew says it's not him, so.
What else we got? Anything?
Whatever you want.
Doug Wolfman was my favorite driver growing up.
You're unable to
Oh, jeez.
Speaking of Doug Wolfgang, he would be really cool to have in our Legends race.
He would. Yeah, he would. I should give him a call. I talked to Kelly Kinzer a little bit in Knoxville. He said he had a good time. Said it was fun.
Told me he was one and done.
Yeah, that's what
There
he
was a
told me.
couple of them.
But we got some new guys coming back this year, and
Yeah.
Sprint and Midget. We definitely got to thank those guys. They treated us real well. They
I would love to be there.
Well, honestly, I thought he was going to be there because I have yet to see that first race at Butler.
Yeah.
Normally doesn't happen.
It doesn't happen. Yeah.
And I kept, kind of leaning on Guy. I'm like, find out, if this is the real deal or not. And it turned out to be the real deal, which, we had a great turnout of people, and that deal was that was a lot of fun. I look forward to it for next year. But, there's Shane Carson said he'd like to do it, so I think that'd be kind of cool.
Nice. Got to have Dave Blaney. He's retired now. Oh, he's still racing a little bit, isn't
Yeah. He's old enough. Is that what you're saying? I think you're old enough.
he? Yeah, I am. A couple years. How long you got to be retired for?
2. Hello? Folks, I didn't hear what we said earlier. Hello? Well, they're turning this into a joke at this point, so they
evidently.
they
Brian
can keep their
Liskey would
phone.
like to know how many $1 bills you provided Danny Holtgraver for adult entertainment over the last week.
0.
0?
I never saw those guys.
Because Danny's getting married pretty soon.
Yeah.
Yeah, you shouldn't be providing him $1 bills.
I stay in Des Moines when I go to Knoxville. I've never been in Dingus.
Nuh-uh.
I was in Dingus one time at the 360 Nationals with Ron Hammonds, but other than that, I've never been there at a 410 race. Never been in there. I don't do very well with drunk people.
Yeah.
In crowded areas, that's tough. for
And
me.
it's tight in there.
Yeah, I've got problems.
Yeah.
Kind of claustrophobic. Sometimes I get annoyed easily. I don't have much patience.
Hello?
Hey, is Dale still on?
Yes, he is.
Yes, sir. What you got?
What's your favorite race car nickname for anybody and why?
There's the name game we were talking
Wow.
It can't be the lowrider.
No, it wouldn't be that.
He wants to be the tall, cool one.
I don't know. Probably the Rim Rider, Chuck Gurney. That's a pretty cool one.
If you're still there, I can't hear you.
The Rim Rider.
The Rim
Chuck
Rider,
Gurney.
Chuck Gurney.
And who gave him that name, and is there a
about. I know
reason?
who this person
Nah, I have no idea.
That's the favorite one you come up with?
Who would
Farmer's nickname be if he was racing?
Who's that?
must have heard the earlier clips.
What would
What would
Farmer's
Farmer's nickname be if he was still racing?
Not very. I have no clue. What would yours be for him? What do you think?
He hung up on
I
us.
don't know. You didn't give him a very good answer.
That's because I figured you out.
Really?
You are answering questions with questions on the questions that you don't want to answer.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
Gotcha.
It's
Isn't it?
easy to do that.
Yeah.
It's a good way to
Not
cover
with
it
me.
up.
I don't like it normally.
I put him on the spot of the All-Stars, so he puts it on me, and then he agrees with me.
He answers.
So that
every
worked out pretty
question.
good, though.
Yeah, it worked out good for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Worked out good for me, too.
Yeah.
We weren't against each other, so.
No.
Well, Dale's probably got a long ride home. How long did it
A
take
couple
you?
hours.
Yeah.
I'll probably head to Frickers for a minute, get something to eat. Leah's gonna be mad.
Oh my gosh! Now Fremont Frickers, you just gave him a shout out because everybody's going to Frickers.
No, really?
Oh, I'm
Love Frickers.
assuming.
Yeah.
Now that they know you're going to be there, right on.
I'm sure we
Really?
can get somebody to show up and buy you a meal. Just
No
right.
kidding.
Yeah. Just advertise
Somebody.
it.
Oh, really?
Tell him next 20 minutes. He'll be there.
Fremont Frickers. He'll
Fremont
blame
Frickers.
me
I'll be there at the bar.
at the bar all by himself.
Yep. Having a Dr. Pepper. Yeah, all by myself.
Nothing wrong with that.
No.
You may not be by yourself long.
Really?
I'm better.
Barman
than
might
that.
be there, huh?
No, he's at
That's a
our-
good possibility.
Oh yeah.
That is a good
Well, he's with
possibility.
Lindsay, and Lindsay's not
And they
gonna
like
go now.
Frickers, though.
Yeah, but
They
she's
like-
not going to go now because she just told me that her face is red.
Well, it'll
So-
tell her it'll clear up. Tell her to go in the bathroom.
At least she didn't ask me what color they were.
She didn't. She
Might
and
be
I
later.
couldn't believe she asked me to ask you because she knows I'll do it. She knows I'll do it. So I'll get home and she'll be like, "Oh my God, Mom."
Why'd you do that?
Why'd you do that?
So, hopefully everything works itself out.
It will. We will. Hopefully for the betterment of the sport.
I've said from the day one that I hope this gets over before the season's over, because every seems like almost every season there's something. You know, whether it's the World of Outlaws rewriting the rule book, or tires, or Speed Week conflicts, or
Fairboard selling
something,
racetracks,
or Kroger's
something
wanting
all
to
the
buy
time.
the ground, and if we can get this put aside, the newspaper had an article in it, I believe today, that the Kroger deal is officially off the table,
I saw that.
and that nothing's for sale, so that's a huge positive for Fremont. So
There you
we'll
go.
see.
Well, I'm gonna have to put the glasses on to read that. White.
So, thanks for coming out.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Hopefully we can constructively criticize and
You go
make
to
something
Butler
happen.
next? Is that where is that where?
Butler on Friday and Saturday.
I heard Butler may be changing hands.
Possibly. I actually talked to the guy that
Mark?
it was Mark Zimmerman. Yeah, I actually talked to him last week in Knoxville a little bit, and seems like a great guy. And that's a cool place.
Yeah.
They just need to change the track a little bit.
And he's aware of that. I spoke
Yeah.
with him, and
Yep.
he called me, and actually he called me earlier today, and I missed his call, and he said he wouldn't be available the rest of the day, so maybe tomorrow or whatever we can catch up. But
Yeah, that's a neat track. It's the right size, right shape. It just needs formed up a little bit better and make it a little bit better surface. But that's a cool place.
he seems like he's a guy that's been around a long time.
Yes.
Been at, he's got a lot of history there, as his family does and that kind of stuff, so.
Yeah.
Hopefully it'll work out. How was your dad's race? You guys ran 1-2. That's gotta be pretty cool for
Dad's-
you and your brother.
Yeah, Dad's race was good. It was bad that we had 50% chance of rain. It rained really a bunch up north of us, and it rained a bunch south right before the race. We got a few sprinkles, but that to hurt the car count a little bit, hurt fans a little bit. But it was a good night. But Dave ran well. He ran real good. I ran one of the second cars, and it was a car just like GF1 car, what I run, but he just whipped me. He was
Is
a
he
little better than I
having
was.
fun?
Yeah, he's having some fun. He didn't have fun at Ohio Speed Week. He's building his own cars, and he's really just trying to learn and get him a little bit better.
He come out and tested at the racetrack one night,
Yeah.
and
Yep.
they put a ton of laps on that thing. I mean, they changed a lot of stuff. I mean, they weren't bashful about making changes, and Byron come down and tested with them. They wanted a car to compare with, and
Sure.
that kind of thing. So it worked out really good. It was that thing's pretty neat. And, it's
He's in the process of building another one,
different yet.
different yet. So he's just trying to find something that's it's compatible to big tracks, little tracks, and everything.
I've always thought that the sprint car really, the frame hasn't changed
No.
much at all, and
Some guys have tried to change a little bit, but it always goes back.
yeah, we've had one of those experimental cars we did with Jim Linder, and the first time we raced it, we thought it was the best thing ever built because it was a bullet fast, and it turned out to be pretty much not so good.
Yeah, Dave's built me cars a few times, and yeah, some of them on some places are exceptional, but then you get them to another place and.
But it's
hard
nice
hit.
to see someone trying.
Oh, yeah.
The rest, the most of the world, they don't do that no more. They just go and they buy the parts and they build it together, and
Yeah.
and there you go. But
We're probably, I'd say George with GF1 has probably made more strides on race car stuff in the last couple of years
Yeah.
than some other ones.
I
So,
agree.
Yeah.
Hello? It's a Pennsylvania. Hello?
Talking race cars.
724.
Yeah, Pittsburgh, yeah, somewhere over there, Mercer,
That's probably Danny Holtgraver wanting to debate on the $1 bills,
guaranteed.
Yeah.
I gave him none.
or it could have been Aliquippa talking. We couldn't understand it.
I can understand him. I just have to listen really.
It's challenging.
Shape's tough, yeah.
A lot of times I'm better
He's-
off if he's talking and I can watch him talk to me.
He's a better texter.
I remember we was at the
because he can
racetrack.
Is he?
understand. Well, you can
You can
understand him on
read
the text
that.
because you can read it.
I've had to text him a couple times about kickball stuff, and I usually get one word K.
Okay, yeah.
We was at the racetrack one night, and him and Andy got upside down, and oh my God, you couldn't understand a word that was coming out of his mouth. That was like, I think it was him, Andy, and Aaron Call. There was 90 beers between the three of them. 330 packs of Busch
I
Light.
have a hard time believing that.
Them boys
Not at
could
all.
drink.
That's
It was
okay.
impressive.
Yeah.
Well, let's go to Frickers.
All right. Yeah.
Thanks for letting us put you on the spot.
Oh,
Thanks for
yeah.
coming down.
Yeah, I forgot.
Oh.
Brian Smith will kill me for filling in if I fail to do the whole deal.
Brian came up with this little
This is,
concept here.
it's called Having a Ball with Art. You know, Art Ball, our all-time winner. It's a little thing for him. So you take this
Just got a
and you-
text from Brian Smith. Make him draw.
you put it on
his
your head and you draw your race car, put your number on it. You get a minute, or really however long you want. And when we're done, then you autograph it. That way we can at least read that part.
Did you see him all
It should be out.
outside?
Gotcha.
Did you see him all hanging out there?
Oh no, I didn't.
Yeah,
I
we
didn't
had
actually look
every
for it.
guest.
He's
every
another
driver.
one of those draws the wheels first
Yep,
Yeah.
kind of guys.
thinking about it.
Oh, boy, that's not gonna be good right there. I don't even know if I have room for a wing up there.
Well, you know
It's gonna be an old school wing.
that kind of happens once in a
Yeah.
while. The guys that you would think would be really good at this are terrible.
Let me
Well.
see.
I've seen worse.
That's not bad.
I've seen
Hey,
better.
You're on that camera there if you wanna.
And there's
I just started too high. That's what I did.
No.
I didn't get my wing on there.
yeah, you blew it off the end, but
Yeah, I
you
did.
just
So I
have
gotta
to-
sign it. Well, I
Yeah,
left
yeah.
room to sign it.
Yeah,
We've only
that's-
had one person not do it. Rick Frickle.
yeah.
He
And-
walked
and-
in the door and he said, before we even got started, he goes, "I'm not doing the drawing."
Huh? Really?
Yeah, and Rick, you kind of.
My muffler.
And we were
Yeah,
cool with
yeah.
that.
Rick,
Okay.
you just kind of.
That was supposed to be actually my head inside the cockpit, but it's a little low. It turned out to be my muffler.
You didn't even put the divot in the tire around it. So. That'd be unique. So
Nice.
we'll be back next week at our normal time on Tuesday when we're not out doing fun stuff. Or
Next
something.
week's gonna be tough because we don't race and.
Well, Attica races, so maybe we'll get some of our fast guys on here, and our fast points battle is pretty tight, and the track points are really
Who's leading
tight.
the fast? Andrews?
Chris Andrews.
Yeah.
And Byron's in second. Brian Lay, I believe, is still leading our points. I haven't checked him this week. It might be. That's got to be tightening it up too.
He's
I
run-
haven't gotten the email yet. To
I've been
see.
impressed with him this year. He's run good.
He's run really good. And, the one night he won, and it was a really fast
He beat, yeah,
racetrack.
he beat me.
Yeah, and then he won on one of our slickest racetracks.
Yes.
So he, he's another one of those guys, kind of like Travis and some of these young guys that have just really started to mature and
Yep.
and come into their own. And you ever get hungry at the racetrack, that dude's got some.
Oh, I love parking next to him.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
awesome.
You know what
Yeah.
Brian told me Saturday? His dad don't cook any of that food. He buys it and puts it in.
Well, yeah, he buys it all.
Okay, I thought you told me he cooked it.
No, they buy it. They
Because
buy
I
it,
was
which is
giving him
fine.
the.
One of his guys gave me some wine last year.
Well, his
Yeah.
dad
Made it?
makes it.
Yeah. I don't drink wine, but my mom said that was awesome.
Yeah, he gives. I've got 4 or 5 bottles.
So I might need another bottle of wine.
Yeah, it's no problem.
He
I'm
just
sure.
gave me a bottle of pineapple wine. Haven't tried it. Lindsay drinks it before I get a chance to. She's a wino.
Who's winning the 305 fast points?
That was
Nate Dussel just took over from
Nate
Ivy.
Dussel just took over the lead from Ivy. It's only like 4 points or something. It's pretty tight. Yeah, 5 points there, and the fast points are what? 20, I think.
23.
23 back. I don't know if our track points are up to date yet or not.
Yeah, they're updated.
What is that? Steven here is our IT guy. He manages all of our websites, and
Doing a great job.
he does
Yeah.
a really good job. And we build all new
He's
websites
one step
this
ahead of
winter.
us.
Yes.
That's not too tough, though.
Brian Lay with 8, or first place by 8.
8 points. And
You got Lenny pulled away.
yeah, Valeni's kind of
We
skunked
stopped
that
looking
deal
at
up.
you.
Yeah.
But the 305 should be
Jordan
pretty
Ryan's
close
leading the track
too.
points.
Yeah, Jordan Ryan. And keep in mind, Brian Lay's never been a champion at Fremont.
Wow.
Jordan Ryan's never been a champion at Fremont. Sean Valeni's never been a champion at Fremont. Our fast leader has never been a champion, a fast champion. Our 305 fast, that's Nate right now. So out of all the championships that we got going up here, there are a lot of new faces on top. So it's it's pretty cool to see them guys doing so well.
There's some good young 305 drivers.
Yeah.
I like watching those guys.
Yeah. Tyler Gunn had his first experience in a 410 car this past weekend.
Oh,
and,
nice.
Put it in the show, ran 15th, lost the brakes, and they have a new Triple X car, and their family's not real sprint car knowledgeable. They're learning, and they put a mount on to hold the steering gear, and the mount broke.
Yeah.
So the steering gear's flopping around in this thing, and had a thin disc brake rotor on the back, and he's using them and
Melted it.
burnt the brakes off of it.
Yeah.
So the kid did a good job.
He really wants to move up.
Yeah. I'd like to see Nate and Jordan in
I think
410.
Jordan's going next
Jordan's
year.
in the process. I
Yeah.
think from what I understand, their motor's for sale.
Yeah.
I know they're kind of hesitant on selling it until they, unless they get another one, they want to finish the season with it, obviously, leading the points like that. Jimmy Colvin sold their 305 and it's working. I think they may have a 410 bought. So
Really? I didn't hear that.
yeah, so he's moving. Jordan Ryan's moving. I know Nate would love to move, but they need a little more support to make that happen the way it sounds. And we'll have a pretty good group of rookie 410 drivers, which is exciting. It's nice to have that, and we should have a Kelsey Ivy and some other kids coming up to start off in the 305 deal. So that'll be fun too.
Yep.
It's always fun to have young kids racing. So.
Are you a golfer?
Yeah.
Are you?
Where you
Gonna
going?
be on my golf
Question?
outing?
When is it?
It's the night you can't be in it. No, you can be in it. Yeah, you can. It's Sunday after Lernerville Outlaw Show.
I'm gonna try to get.
Actually, we got a race at Brush Creek that night. Lernerville Outlaw Show.
On
If it's still on the schedule.
On Sunday?
Oh,
On
that's
Saturday
right.
night. We go
No.
Eldora
I
Friday.
gotcha.
Yeah, you race 4 Crown at Eldora.
Friday. Then we got to go to Brush Creek Saturday. All-Star race.
This is
it's on the
Sunday.
schedule.
This is Sunday.
Okay.
Golf outing on Sunday.
Yeah, but I'm just
Yeah, but
saying, if
where's
I'm in
Brush
Brush
Creek?
Creek, that's
Yeah.
closer
Oh,
than
it's on the
Lernerville.
way home.
Well,
About
not
the
really.
same.
On my way home.
Still.
Fremont? Yeah.
Mike
Trying,
Dukeshire's been like
Trying.
blowing,
So you're gonna play
really
golf
wanting me
then?
to talk.
On that Sunday?
Yeah.
Yeah, burn me down.
Awesome.
All right, we'll mark you down. You want to bring your whole own team, or you want to get on somebody's team?
Depends how my recruiter is.
Now let me tell you about
He's
this
not a
team.
I can bring a couple guys.
He's
No
not-
problem.
Now this is how this works, just so you're aware. The teams are 4-person scramble, best ball scramble. If you got to have a driver, an owner, a crew member that you represent. If you win, it's like a couple $1,000 sponsor package provided by like the folks at Crown Battery are part of this. There's plenty of businesses, Kistler's and all these guys are all part of it, and the top 4 are going to receive sponsor packages that are a couple $1,000 a piece. So it's an opportunity to play for something beneficial. It's not just
Mark me down.
and it does raise money for our Hall of Fame too.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, they've been on me to.
But let me know if I need to bring 3
Well, it's
guys.
up to you. You tell us. You want to bring your own golfers? You know what the deal is. You can win
I'm
something.
trying to get
Or do
Kerry,
you-
Matson, and those guys are going to be in the area to
Yes.
stay a couple days because this will be like a stopping point for them.
We'll work it out.
Yeah.
Trying to get them guys to.
Yep. No doubt. Sounds
All
fun.
right.
It is.
I went from
It's a
basketball this winter to now golf.
It's a nice golf course. It's a really nice golf course. The folks out to Sycamore, they treat us really well with this deal. They're supporters of the racetrack. And
Lou and I even have a
Pretty
team
neat
this
deal.
year.
Not good.
No, Lou's really bad. She's a basketball player, softball player, not a golfer. But
How many people you think are at Frickers right now? Think Barma's at Frickers now?
he's at Cleats. They just text me and said send him to Cleats.
Is
Kind
it
of
Cleats in
out of
town?
here.
no, Cleats is a long ways from town.
It's in Marblehead.
It's up along the lake.
Yeah.
There might be somebody there. I
Oh,
think
I'd
there
like
is.
it. You think there is?
Oh,
Yeah.
there's always somebody there.
Nice. I like it.
We'll go have a drink with you.
There you go.
If nothing else, that way we don't want you to be alone and get raped.
Yeah.
It's a terrible town.
I'm sure that's not going to happen.
Too damn willing. Well, anyhow, I think that'll wrap it up, huh? We'll try
Yeah.
to wrap it up again.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thanks for
So, thank
coming.
you.
Steven?
All right.
End it.